right, we're live. Hello, hello. Somebody check in here. Come on. I want to see at least one number up here about a comment. Anybody there? Hello, hello. We know you're out there. There we go. Now we got one. And one is not the loneliest number, so we're going to start right now. And there's two. Good morning. Welcome to The Art of Fire and another Facebook Live presentation. I'm Bruce. I'll be doing your narrating and a little bit of camera work today. Good morning, Lynn. Thanks for checking in with us. And the rest of you can do that too. Patrick's here. Okay, great. We got 7 of you out there. Let's identify ourselves, huh? How about that? Okay. So today we're just having some fun. Getting in the holiday spirit and going to have a good time here. On the agenda today, we're going to start off with doing a perfume stopper. Last week you saw Foster make a perfume bottle. This week we'll show you how you get the stopper custom fitted so it'll go in. We have an order today for a cane ornament, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to have the Grinch. Hello, Joyce. Welcome aboard. Okay, so this is what we got going on today. I'd also like to show you the ornament that Denise won from last week. Denise Jenkins. Congratulations. And you guys can win pieces by commenting. Good morning from Florida, Brittany. What part of Florida? This week we're going to give away a green elf. Alrighty, there we go. Good morning, David Hogan. And another thing we'd really like to promote today and suggest to you is our gift certificates. We've printed one out here. So what you can do is email us or possibly even text us, and we could get one of these done for you and emailed back to you today. It is possible we could probably text it as an attachment, but if you'd like to give someone in your life a gift certificate for some glass, call us up, 301-253-6642. Email us, get online with Theta right now, and we'll get you hooked up with that, and you'll have it in your hot little hands today. So there we go, and here's the fun bunch. We got Foster and Josh here. Hey, all right. So let's...
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Brian. Hope you're doing well. Glad you're with us.
Hello from Brittany's mom in Florida. Well, hello, Brittany's mom, Kimberly. Okay. All right. So Foster's going to start us off with...
Yes, somebody last week wanted to know how the stoppers were set into the perfume bottles. So this was the perfume bottle that we made last week. And what I'm going to do, you saw me make the stoppers. Here's one of the stoppers that we're going to use to put into the bottle. Now, two things here. This is a whisk from a broom, and I'm going to use this to measure the depth of the perfume bottle. Okay, I have this approximate depth to the perfume bottle. I'm going to eyeball the diameter of the stopper to fit the top of the perfume bottle. And then I'm going to pull it back here on the stopper. I'm going to use some nippers and nip that excess glass that will not be needed. I have a good length in the bottle now. Now, if you'd like to take just a few more moments, what we'll do is we'll show you how we smooth the end and use a bit of steel grit to set the stopper so that it gets the tight grip.
Well, Bruce? We certainly don't want our perfume evaporating.
Well, no, not at all. So,
all righty.
Why don't you come out with me here?
Can we play Walk This Way?
Walk This Way.
Walk This Way, yeah. It can be your choice, Run DMC or Aerosmith, I don't care. All right, Foster's going to help us set up the stopper.
Okay, so we're going to use our lapidary saw, which has a diamond impregnated edge. We're going to go ahead and smooth perhaps you can see where we tapered the edge inward and it's got a frosted edge. Now, in order to set the stopper into the bottle top, we have some steel grit. Okay? With the steel grit, what we're going to do, Bruce, turn to your right for me. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to dampen the stopper into the grit, or actually take that back. We're going to take the grit, put it around the edge of the mouth of the perfume bottle, take the stopper, and maybe you can hear this. You can hear the grinding of the steel as the stopper is turned into the mouth of the perfume bottle. And I'm going to rinse this off in just a moment, and you'll see the frosted area from where the steel grit and the glass from not only the stopper but from the bottle itself ground. Can you see that?
Yep.
You can, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Frosted
this
area right there.
And this is what will make the stopper set properly in the bottle so that the perfume or essence does not evaporate. So that's how we set the stoppers.
Cool.
Thank you for asking. That was an interesting thing to be able to share with the folks who have perfume bottles made by the Art of Fire.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Foster.
Yeah.
All righty. So Sally Ann said, let's see Theta. So, hello, Theta.
Hi, Sally
So
Ann.
Theta says, hello, Sally Ann, and anybody else that's out there. And we don't actually have any cats lounging on the desk today. So, but it doesn't mean they're not here. And while we're about to walk through the great curtain of t-shirts, remember that you can purchase these too if you want. Not a lot of the red ones left, but we've got lots of the gray ones, and we have choices on what you can have on the front of it. This one with the Happy Cats, drawn by Todd's daughter Violet. We've got For a Hot Time, the ever popular one, and also one with tools on the front. So let us know if you'd like to order up a t-shirt. Also, again, I'd like to mention that we have gift certificates, and this is what they look like. And if you give us a shout, 301-253-6642, text Theta right now, or email, and we can get you set up with that. So next up is going to be an order we have this week for a cane ornament. So let's go over here and take a look before Josh picks it up. And we've got the twisted white cane there with what? Blue or purple?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. So this is a special order somebody requested this week. So here we go.
Yeah, I'll start the second one while Bruce is talking.
So we're kind of hoping that this stage is going to go a lot better than it did last week when we failed to get all the canes fully welded together, had the gaps in them. But that's the way it goes sometimes, and we still can make the ornaments. Josh right now is heating up the canes. He'll get them fused together really tight in a complete sheet and then join them up and start making the ornament. So the canes have to be heated probably for about 6 to 8 minutes, maybe 10 the most.
I'd say 4.
4? Okay. He's got more faith in his fusing than I have in mine. I'd probably be going a little longer if I were doing it, because what the heck. All right, so he's going to get those fused together in a sheet and then pick them up. Now what he's done this week is he's made the collar already and it's sitting over here in our pipe warmer on the end of this pipe that's to the far left there, and that's what he'll be using to pick it up. Jim Johnson, I received my ornament yesterday and it's absolutely stunning. Okay, and we're glad that you really like it. Jen Johnson received ornament yesterday.
Awesome.
All right, good.
Excellent.
We always like it when somebody's a happy camper. Okay, and while we're talking about happy campers, if you could like, comment, and share, especially the sharing, that helps us increase viewership. And if you like, well, that just makes us feel good. If you comment, though, that gets you entered in the drawing. And again, we'd like to congratulate Denise Jenkins, who won the diamond ornament from last week. And next week's drawing will be for a green elf. Okay. So, all right, so you can possibly see from the bright glow how hot those canes are, particularly toward that outer edge. So Josh is going to attach the collar that's on the blowpipe, start rolling it up, and you can see that those things are already fused really well together. We'll use the tweezers to start bringing it around to the cylindrical shape. He'll get a touch up right there on the end, and then he's going to apply some more heat. We'll back up while Foster removes the pastorelli. And so now he's using the tweezers and a little bit of gravity too. Notice he points the iron down and up, moving it around, making a nice joint there all the way up the line. And he's looking for his brush. Foster probably removed all the whisks from the brush just to get that one to set the length of the stopper. Oh, no, he didn't. Here we go. We have another brush with a full complement of bristles.
Just a little bit of dust from the plate. Just make sure that's not any dust on there.
Right now, Bridget, we are making a cane ornament. So Josh has got the cane picked up and he's going to roll it out on the marver here in a moment, get a nice cylinder formed, and then we had a special order today for the cobalt filigrana ornament. And
yeah, this is for Terry.
Okay.
Terry Brake.
I'm sorry, for who?
Terry Brake.
Okay. So right now he's rolling it back and forth, and he's being really careful as he does this. If he only rolls in one direction, he'll wind up twisting the canes, and that's not the object here. Okay. Doing the hot pipe hokey pokey. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yep. Okay, so back to the bench he comes, make sure he's got a good seal on it. That's why he's now closing off a point about midway down the whole tube. It's going to separate into two halves for two ornaments. So even if you order just one, we make two,
Right.
and then we've got one for somebody else.
Right. I'm hoping the first one goes well, and we'll try something different with the second one.
Ah, okay.
We'll see.
So now using the diamond shears, he's going to knock off the outer half of that tube. Foster will put it away into the annealer where it will sit. Josh gives it a little tap, and Foster picks it up and goes and sets it up in the annealer so Josh can come later and drop another pipe into it. So now he's got half of that gather on the end of the blowpipe, and he closes that off, seals it up and everything, and away we go. So if you'd like one of these ornaments, just let us know. Order one up, we'll make it for you. Now he's just rolling to make sure he has a nice tight seal and connection. And he's also marvering the end of it so that it doesn't blow out too much. You can see a little bit of inflation there. So the opening down at the bottom was completely sealed, and he was able to start the inflation. So after a good reheat, he'll be coming back out over to the bench, and he'll initiate a jack line up at the pipe. Nobody wants this ornament hung on a tree with a 4.5-foot piece of steel. So there's our point of separation. He blows it out a little bit, and when he does that, the neck also inflates, that point where he made the constriction. So he's back on it once more for a little more squeeze there. He's cooling the bottom right now. That takes heat away from it. One of the things about our glory holes are they heat evenly all the way around the glass. So it's really almost impossible to get in there and heat just one tiny specific portion. So if we want a portion not to get too hot, we cool it first. And that's exactly what Josh did. You'll notice he's blowing as he walks back. He's also holding the iron almost horizontal. He'll change the angle, because if we blow in a horizontal posture, we get a beautiful sphere. Here he goes again, cutting down the jack line so it'll be nice and tight. He doesn't close it off completely. It's still open a little bit there, and he'll cover that opening with the hook. So another flash of heat just to keep a little bit of warmth in it, and it'll be time for the hook. The diamond shears are not cutting the glass off, they're chilling it right there to create a weak spot to fracture when he taps the pipe. So there he goes with the piece in the cradle. He's going to pick up a little bit of clear glass for the hook. And this goes on nice and hot. You'll notice how fluid it is as he pulls it up, and a little clip. Then he'll use his tweezers, and he actually changes direction there on the top to pinch it and cool it a little bit. And you draw it up and curl it over, and another beautiful ornament is done. So we'll pause right here for us, and there we go. Thank you, Josh. So another beautiful filigrana ornament with the blue canes in it. So are you going to move right into the other one?
Why don't you give me a minute to set up, and then yeah, we'll get right into the
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
All righty, so let's go see what's going on today. Actually, we don't have a lot of stuff on the list. It's kind of free-form today, so we're working on the cane ornament, but Josh told you he's going to do something a little bit different with the canes that are remaining in the annealer. And Foster showed you how to fit a perfume stopper into a previously made bottle. And in a little while, we're going to be doing the Grinch. So we'd like to encourage you, if you want to give a piece of glass this holiday season, order up a gift certificate. Get in touch with us right now, and what we'll have is try to email it to you this afternoon. In fact, if you get in touch with us now, order a gift certificate, we'll get one to you by hook or crook today, and you can give it to a loved one for a beautiful present that they can pick out themselves. Last week's winner of the drawing was Denise Jenkins. She got this wonderful diamond ornament, and at the risk of confusing people, we're calling this a diamond ornament because of its shape. The ones that we put into the diamond optic bowls we'll call diamond optic balls. And I'm not seeing one up here right now, but we've had quite a few on display for the last few weeks. Foster, you want to see if we got a diamond optic ball around? Diamond optic? Okay, we've also got the cane ornaments here. There's several of our new diamond molds, and thank you, Romero, for designing the mold and everything. Here's a diamond optic right here. It's a little bit harder to see because of the multi-colors in it, but Foster's bringing us one back right now. And he's gotten delayed, but he'll be right here. Okay. Okay.
want a cane ornament in the diamond mold.
All righty, thank you. Okay, so when we say a diamond optic ball, this is what we're talking about because it's got the diamond-shaped optics from the optic mold or dip mold,
And you
the
were
one that
you
has
were probably-
all the pins in it. When we talked about the diamond mold, this is the one that's a brand new shape we're offering up this season, and that's from this special mold that Ramiro made for us. So, Josh wanted a little bit of time to set up, but instead,
Very cool.
he's already gotten started. So, but he hasn't done the
I was already
important
ahead of
part.
Ramiro.
Yep. Okay, so he is
That's what
going
my
to
plan
do.
was.
Okay, so you going for it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was going to do. As long
Okay.
as that one went okay, I was going to try the diamond.
Okay, so we've got the one that was made on order in the annealer. That was the filigrana ornament with the blue canes. So Josh has picked up the mate to that, the other half that is the cylinder, and so he's got that on the end of the pipe right now. He's going to change the shape of it just a little bit. He's going to alter the shape, not to exactly follow the profile of this diamond mold, but he's going to concentrate some thicker glass toward the bottom for the amount of expansion. So it'll be kind of a sphere to look at first, and then he'll taper the bottom half of it. So in just a moment, he's going to blow this out some, getting a good seal on it. And when he rolls the iron on the marver like that, rolls the glass on the marver, it also tends to thicken the glass a little bit. So all these repeated heats tend to thicken the glass, and the rolling on the metal tabletop also thickens the glass. And by making it all thicker, he allows himself more room for expansion. So he's going to get that all set up just exactly like he wants before he blows. So rolling the tip of the piece onto the table cools that, so that when he blows, not only is it taper there, it doesn't inflate. So we'll take a real quick look at this, and you can see it's almost got like a conical tip on the outboard end. That's from cooling it on the marver. The back of the jacks, the handle there cools it even further, and then when he blows a little more, he's got that. Okay, so he's got that kind of spherical shape with a tapered tip. We ready to go? All right, I'm going to stand back over here so I can get a good shot of it.
Well, I'm going to go ahead.
Yep, take your place, sir. Josh is going into the mold. Foster closes it up. Josh blows really hard.
Tap your foot.
And then Josh will signal him when he's done. Foster pulls the mold away, and there we go. Whoa! All right. Yes, yeah.
Excellent.
A little excitement here at the Art of Fire.
Yes.
It's always nice when something you decide to try pulls off really well. And look at this beautiful diamond ornament with the blue cane and filigrana.
That is
Oh,
a one
my
of a kind.
It is a one of a
Probably
kind.
won't see many of these.
Once again, he chilled it there around the neckline. It'll break free into the cradle, and he'll gather for a hook. Now that is amazing. Yes, Judy, holy crap, it's gorgeous. And you can tell by the excitement here in the studio that we're all impressed with it. All right, a beautiful hook on there.
What did she say? Wait a minute. Yeah, look at there.
All right, let's get a close-up of that. That is definitely one of a kind. Beautiful. Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Ted's got this one, man.
Oh, nice, Ted.
Yeah,
Okay, it's already sold. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Glad to have you with us, Ted.
Okay.
Hope you're doing well. We miss you here at the studio. We know that you take great care of yourself, and it's got your name on it, Ted.
Okay.
And thank you to Ted and all the other people, and Ted especially, because he really donated money to No Kid Hungry. That's extra, and we really appreciate that. So thanks, Ted. Thanks, everybody. everybody else that donated. That was a
All righty, come on. Let's give some thumbs up and some hand claps and hearts and stuff for Josh. Those were some beautiful ornaments.
Thank you.
It turned out really well. And a huge thank you for Ramiro Camarello for designing and building the mold for us. Absolutely. Okay, so let's travel on back down here. And the next thing up is going to be the Grinch. We're going to have the Grinch and a Christmas tree. Oh boy. All right, so we don't have one of those on display. We've made several of the Christmas trees, and we did a couple live. You can see some on display right now. If you'd like just a straight up Christmas tree, you can order any one of these. We've got them online. You can go to the website, artoffire.com, and place an order for one of those. And we've also got snowmen. We've got ornaments of all sizes and shapes and varieties. You can order perfume bottles. We've got quite a few here. Some we had on display last week to show you what they look like. We've got the fragrance diffusers, and then a plethora, if you will, of ornaments. So got a lot of those going. Okay, so let's walk on back down here and see what's going on. How we're going to get the Grinch who stole Christmas. Okay, so while they're getting everything prepped, this unit here right now is called a garage. And we'll get over here and you can see that there's a flame source in there. And just like some of you may have a 2-car garage, we have 2 openings in this. And one side's a little hotter than the other, obviously the one that's closer to the flame. We try to get this somewhere around 950 to 1,000 degrees. And we can park pieces in it just like you can park your car in a garage. And that helps us put a piece away for later use rather than have to have one more glass blower standing around running the piece back and forth into a glory hole to keep it warm. So it's a great place to park, hence the garage. Josh is taking out one of the bricks that was holding the heat in, and you can see we're right up at that 1,000 degree mark. I'm not going to get too close to it because I don't have the, we have a cooling gel that we usually put on the back of the phone, and that keeps it from overheating, and I missed that today. At any rate, so we get the Grinch head made, and it'll go here in the garage. Can I show what the interior of the glory hole looks like? Oh, absolutely, Patrick. Yep, we've done this before. So we've got a series of doors that allow us different diameters based on the size of the piece. And that over there is our burner tip. We take the mixture of propane and oxygen and put it through there. We light it up, and it gets us up to 2,300 degrees in roughly 45 minutes or so. This that you can see on the bottom is where folks have dropped some color in the bottom. So the interior of the glory hole is a cast refractable. It's a ceramic material, and we put that into this tube, and then when the glass color gets down on there, you can actually see it, but a little bit melting down there doesn't hurt. We also line the bottom of it with a sand-like substance we call grog, which is basically just some of the bricks ground up. So that's what a glory hole looks like, and by closing these doors, we can decrease the diameter of the opening, save some heat in there, and go about working with it. So this is our smallest opening right here, and then if we close those outer 2 doors, we can keep any heat from escaping at all. So Josh is ready to go with our Grinch. Hello, Keith Daly. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling well. All righty.
Take good care of yourself.
So it looks like we're going to have a lime green Grinch. What other kind is there?
What other color would the Grinch be?
Well, he's got 3 bowls of color there. The green for the Christmas tree. We've got red for decoration. So here we go.
I know that for that one, too.
What you got?
Yeah.
Right.
Where is the stamp? Do you have a sense?
I put it back in your toolbox.
Okay. And
It's the 70s, right?
This is the coordination that takes place before we actually need the parts. So Foster's getting some things together, some tools and color, and Josh will be able to make this Grinch. You want to give us a little description of the process, Josh?
Yeah, so we're going to start out by making a Grinch's head. And we're going to draw the face on him, make the Santa hat. And if you've ever read The Grinch, Grinch Who Stole Christmas, there's actually a page in the book where he's actually just his head poking out of the tree. And that's what we're going to be making today. Just that Grinch head poking out.
All right. A little bit of air in the pipe. You notice that his finger is covering the mouth hole back at the back. That's going to give him some inflation. Okay, there we go.
Just like all our other colors, we're not going to really see that true Grinch green until tomorrow when it cools. So that's about the size of what our head's going to be.
Oh, okay.
And that's what that guy is.
Going to be the finished size on this guy, huh? Kimberly Cox says it's good timing to make a Grinch while they're watching the Grinch movie.
Is that right? There you
Oh,
go.
that's a great idea.
Which version is it?
That's
What's your favorite version of the Grinch movie?
my favorite version of the Grinch. I think just the Grinch that stole Christmas.
Just the original? Jim
Yep,
Carrey was
the
pretty
original.
good.
Yeah.
The Jim Carrey version is pretty good.
All right, and a gather of clear glass around on the outside, and this is going to facilitate drawing the face on. So that's why he's stripping the glass off. He wants just a thin coating of the clear glass on the outside. Going to give him a little bit of room to inflate the piece some, and also that kind of protects the green color beneath when it's time to start drawing. When we start drawing, he's using a very hot propane and oxygen torch, and it could actually burn the color out. Am I going to sing the Grinch song? If I'd have thought about it, I might have worked that up. But
Yeah, come on, Bruce. I think you can come up with it.
yeah. Okay, so he's got the clear on top of the green now. Heating that up and going to get the basic shape of the head formed. So excited for the Grinch. So are we, Laura. Thank you, Pamela Ritter, for sharing. Yeah, we appreciate that. The more you guys share, the more viewers we get, and that helps us, and we all have more fun.
And you get entered into the giveaway.
Yep, you get the giveaway entry by commenting, okay?
doing the cap first before the face.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so now you can see the inflation taking place right here. We're getting larger on the end there. That's going to be the Grinch's head.
What do you have the large handle
The tree.
for the cover?
All righty. At this shape, at this point, the shape looks a little like a cone head. We could get a Jane Curtin in here.
From Saturday Night Live.
Well, if you actually look at the Grinch, he has cheeks.
Yeah,
His
he
head
got
does come up to like a cone.
big cheeks. Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
Using the jack's on an angle like that, he's able to taper the top of it some more. Here's the separation between the mouth area where those huge cheeks are, and then giving them a little bit of a taper there, right up where the eyes and everything will go.
It's gonna be a big grit.
It's gonna big grit. Big grit. Okay. That requires a big tree. Yeah. This is kind of like painting yourself into the corner when you paint your room and you accidentally paint yourself into the corner.
Well, I worked with Mary Hallbecker this past weekend. We found that out. She started, and same issue. We made a big head in the first one and realized you have to make a big tree. So, let's see.
All right, so Josh is grabbing the blow hose right now. What that's going to allow him to do after he heats this up, he'll be able to blow at the same time he uses hand tools to work on it. And this allows you to do not only do those two things at once, but it allows you to see really quickly what's going on. When you hold the pipe up and it's in your mouth and the object is about 4 feet away, it's tough to see exactly what's going on. So by using the blow hose, he's able to get right in here on it. And with his jacks, he can blow gently and you'll see some expansion in the top of the head. And when he's happy with that, he stops. Alrighty, so if you're just joining us, we're in the process of making the Grinch. Right now, I think we're heading for the Santa hat, aren't we? Okay, a little bit of white right on the top. Josh is going to cut that off. He'll flatten it a little bit, then he'll take a reheat, or he may get this completely flattened without needing a reheat. So there's the brim of the hat. And the tweezer marks on it give it the look of that fluffy Santa hat. There we go. All right. So the top of the Santa hat's going to be red. So just like we did a couple weeks ago when we made a snowman with a Santa hat, we're going to do the same process here. So he's getting the landing surface and everything prepared. Foster's in the process of picking up the red color for the Santa hat. We'll get that all gathered up, get it nice and hot, and then we'll drop it right on there to the furry white. Okay, Foster's reheating over in the furnace so that they're not conflicting for the space here. And they're also coordinating what the next move is. Josh right now is waiting for Foster to get that good and hot.
Do you want to fan into the Ferguson?
No, just bring it fresh.
Okay. Foster's got another roll through the red, nice and deep color now, and he's reheating. You notice that Josh didn't have to go back and reheat. Foster will be ready for him just in a moment. The glass is stabilized that Josh has. Foster's glass is very fluid. We go vertical. And here comes the delivery. We're going to call Foster the mailman. There we go. All right, there's the red on top of the hat. Josh will give that a little centering and shaping. The back of the jacks acts almost like a mini marver. It's like having a 2.5-inch wide metal table. Now he's got the conical shape of the hat going.
I didn't know if my
Yeah, I'll pull it. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start calling him Foster Malone.
How's that?
We're going to call you Foster Malone. In honor of Carl Malone, the original mailman. Well, probably not the original mailman, but one of many. Okay, so we've got a curve in the Santa hat now. Foster will get the white. That's going to be the tip of the hat, nice and hot. Josh is going to get this shaped up just like he wants, using the back side of the tweezers to gently curve it. Keep it under control.
Good.
Yep.
And then it's time to put some white on it. Go. Josh clips it off, and there's the white on the end of the Santa hat. A little gentle pinch with the tweezers just to shape it up. There we go. So there's your Santa hat. Okay. Alrighty. I think it was awesome, David Hogan. I think they're doing a really great job. Let's see some thumbs ups and some hearts for these guys. Let's show a little love for the giant Grinch.
Okay,
So now what he's doing is determining which way the hat is going to face as he draws the face on it. So by talking to Foster about whether he wants the tip of that hat over to the left or right, then that'll determine how Foster presents it. Josh is putting on his magic glasses again. And he's got several of the cane stringers that he'll choose from for doing the drawing. And he'll drop it on the floor and pick up another. Okay, so here's our oxygen and propane torch here. This gets really hot, so
okay, got the flip. Let's go side to side. We're gonna get right here to start here. So turn, yeah, there you go.
So by flipping the iron from one side to the other, it lets Josh heat a specific area. So he's moving from the left to the right, and this keeps the piece from falling way off center. Our hearts are not two sizes too small. That's a good one right there. And that shows us that David Hogan is well aware of the story of the Grinch. All right. So now he's got things preheated. He's just going to warm up that green stick. So this stick is a little thicker than the normal stringers he uses, so that's why he's kind of like tapping at it too. All right. And this is going to allow him now also to punch in some. And pull out. You notice he raised up on it. And that's going to give him just a little spot right there where he pulls that out. When he wants to cut the glass off, he just burns it right at the thinnest spot and it comes right away. Yes, Cindy, it is so cool. It's a lot of fun to do.
What do we got, guys?
Yeah, let's do the eyes.
Okay. So now Foster's keeping an eye on it as Josh gets the stick of green glass ready. Foster will flip this over and Josh will be able to place these where he wants. Notice he's heating a little higher on this stick. That's so it flows down. And then when he starts to pull it away, it will thin out and he'll be able to twirl it a little bit and it'll pull right loose, just like that. Back for another reheat and then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Okay. So it's interesting on this little assembly over here, we have a pilot light over here where just a propane flame is shooting up, and the main torch is off until Josh moves right through it, and then it lights that. And this saves us on oxygen. We're not burning the oxygen the whole time. Why all the reheats? To keep it from cracking. There's a limited working time, and we can't let it get too hot. We can't let it get too cold. It's a Goldilocks craft. It's got to be just right. So by going back for frequent, short reheats, they keep the temperature of the head well over 950 degrees, maybe even well over 1,000. We start getting down in that range, glass cracks. So by doing that, we keep the heat in it to keep it from exploding, but we don't heat it so much that it deforms, which is what would happen if we went up to about 1,500 degrees. So now a much thinner piece of stringer. This is black, and this is going to be to complete the work on the eyes. Looks like Josh is getting to be quite the expert at a knitted brow. He has a salon open.
He doesn't have a shake either.
If you want designs in your eyebrows, Josh is the guy to see. All right. Instead of the crooked man who ran a crooked mile, we've got the Grinch with a crooked smile. All right, and back for another flash.
And then we'll do this.
Here we go. Okay.
What's on the cheeks?
He's got two,
Just two dots.
like two,
Dimples, curly cues, dimples. go up at the top corners of the mouth. That is a great looking Grinch. All right. Yes, indeed. Okay.
That's excellent.
Cindy Ballantyne asks, how did you get into glass blowing? The better question is, how did glass blowing get into us? Because it does kind of take over your life. Foster, you want to go first? How did you get into glass blowing?
It was better than working in a bank.
Ah, okay. And Josh, how did you get into glass blowing?
I wanted to try something new, so I tried glass blowing and just loved
Aha! Yes, that is Rachel over there. Rachel, how did you get into glass blowing?
I was complaining about nursing.
Okay. And I got into glass blowing because I was working as an air traffic controller and I wanted something that was nice and relaxing and would allow me not to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so now we've got the Grinch completed and he's going in the garage. He's going to go in the cold side of the garage. We'll keep an eye on him and then the temperature. We'll try to get a shot here into the garage, and there's your Grinch. I know it's kind of shady in there, but we got to keep him held there at a nice warm temperature. So he'll stay in there warming while we begin to work on the tree. So the Grinch is awaiting his treat. Nothing to steal yet. All right, so a little color change here. Are we going for a green tree?
Yes, we're going to go for a green tree with snow.
With snow.
I believe.
Are we going to have ornaments on it?
No.
No, no ornaments, just the Grinch absconding with the green tree with snow. Okay.
Do you want to use this color for the snow, or do you want to use the other?
Brittany says her husband's a retired air traffic controller as well. Well, if I may ask, Brittany, from where? All right, so Josh is starting up the gathers now. Aha! We're going to use the press.
Yep, we're going to make the star for the tree.
The star will be made first and then put away.
Tell you what, let's, what do you got? I was going to say, I'm going to cut it off with the bottom of the optic on it and I'll torch it.
Ah, here we go. Turning a mold upside down for a nice surface to put this on and flatten it, I think. Okay. How do we come up with the ideas of what to make? Sometimes people ask for them. Sometimes we wonder, oh, could we do that? So he's cutting the ball off of there.
Can you torch that real quick?
As soon as he does that, they're going to flatten a little bit. Now they're going to torch to make that whole top super hot. When you cut it with the shears, it leaves a scar, a cut mark.
Good.
Now Josh goes in with the press, and you can see from the force he's pushing with that they need to have a stable surface underneath it. And there we go, there's the star. Now we've got a small paddle that we'll be putting that on, a metal shovel-like thing. We'll put that onto there, and the star will go into the garage also. Foster's lining the shovel up, and Josh will slide it off. There we go, in the garage it goes. What are some surprise pieces you weren't sure about? Well, that ornament earlier was one of them, because that was the first time we tried doing that diamond, that five-sided mold with a cane piece, which is by nature a lot thinner glass than say a normal ornament. and it's set up so it's more difficult to blow there. Well, hello, Rude. Good to see you. Okay. So anyway, yeah, the diamond cane, the cane ornament in the diamond mold is one that we weren't sure was going to work, and was a pleasant surprise that it did so well. So now we'll probably wind up making more. That's the way things go sometimes.
I think we're gonna need a bigger mold.
A bigger mold for the tree? Yeah.
I think we're gonna need a bigger boat, yeah.
Yeah, this is like Jaws.
Yeah, if you see him falling and do it's fun. That's all.
So yeah, when Theta said the cookie and the elves were another pleasant surprise, that was an idea, and it was kind of, can we do it? And when you then go from the notion of a full gingerbread man to a decorated head, then it becomes a lot easier to accomplish. Same thing with the elves. The elves actually were going to start off as gnomes, but they didn't turn out so hot. They were very, very heavy, and it was really tough to get beards on them. So we went from gnomes to elves. So now more glass on the pipe. And Josh is going to go through the green now. This will be the green core of the piece. Notice how fluid that is. It's moving all over the place. He's able to let that stabilize a minute. It's still got plenty of heat. He wants it controlled enough so when he goes to dip in the bowl that he doesn't have the glass dripping all over the sides or anything. So he'll take a couple of rolls through the green, and this will establish the central core of the tree. Yeah, Barbara, we feel the elves are adorable too. We'll come over here because we still got some of the gnomes sitting on the shelf over here. So these are what we were originally going after. And none of them really turned out like we wanted. And they were a little too heavy, what with the hats and everything on them. But anyway, that's how we got an idea started. And then that morphed into the elves, which are a lot lighter, much more nice on the tree, and a lot easier to accomplish. Foster's getting the snow ready over there. A Grinch head the size of the jack-o'-lanterns would be cool. Yes, it would. And if you would like to order one, we'll give it a try. Josh will give it a try. Actually, once you get those heads going, they're pretty much the same type of pattern. So now what he's doing is rolling the glass and getting a taper. This is going to be the green core of the tree. When he gets this sized and shaped just right, he's going to gather a lot of clear glass over it and put it into this optic mold over here to create the branch effect on the tree. Yeah, Barbara, we agree. The gnomes are okay, but the elves are cuter. Now we could make gnomes probably as like sculptural pieces or something, but them as an ornament, nah, not so cool. The wet newspaper is a perfect way to cool the glass down, get it ready to go in and gather. We fold about 7 or 8 sheets of newspaper together, put them in there really tight into a fold of probably about 8 inches square, and then we soak it in water. And it really makes a perfect insulator, and you can actually use it to grab the glass with your hand and shape it. So that's where we're at right now, is still waiting for this glass to cool off just enough to gather. As it cools, it'll start to get to the point that it won't move really much at all. And that's what he wants for when he goes for this gather.
especially it's a lot of glass.
Yeah.
So we really need this to be stable. What I'm going to end up doing is actually going to gather right about to here. So this actually be kind of the trunk of the tree. Yeah. Then we'll get that first set of branches coming up and down.
Ted asked if that's a venturine.
No, that's red green would be nice though.
Yeah,
That's regular green.
That's the 33 green.
Regular emerald green, forest green, emerald green, yeah.
So if Bob Titleback, if you're there, we hope you're enjoying this. Hope you're doing well, and we hope you'll have a nice Christmas. We look forward to seeing you next year.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
All righty. By letting this cool a lot, Josh is going to have a really stable core, and this is actually going to help him gather a lot more glass. He could have gathered probably about 2-3 minutes ago and wouldn't picked up quite as much glass, but because of the size of the Grinch, he's got to go big.
We always go big at the Art of Fire.
Yeah. So you can see he gathered just like he described, not all the way down to the bottom of the piece. He stopped a little bit short of where he cut the jack line. And then he concentrates all that mass of glass down toward the end. This is going to allow him to plunge in, and the glass is going to spread out. And he's going to get a much larger diameter than if he'd done a normal gather over the whole thing. So the diameter is going to be concentrated from that gather line out to the tip. And there we go. That's a big boy.
Do you do the white before snipping it?
No, I'll snip it.
Yeah, David, it is a lot of glass. And you can also see that by altering the way that he gathered, he was able to concentrate more of the glass in the upper 2/3 of the piece. Now what he's doing is clipping the glass with a pair of shears. And you're not going to see the shears, we hope, because Foster is shielding his hand. And that's a really hot spot to be. Your hand's only about 6 or 7 inches away from all that hot glass, and you still get very hot from it. And by putting a paddle on either side of the shear, his hand's protected. He could go almost all the way around, if not all the way around, on a single seat at the bench. Got to keep going back and forth now to get it hot, keep it hot. And also he's going to be changing his direction of rotation, so if it does get hot, it doesn't twist. Why does the glass not stick to the mold?
It could if you left it in there long enough.
Yeah, if you stayed long enough, the mold's not hot enough, okay? Hot glass will stick to hot surfaces. That's why we preheat all the irons that we use, the pipes that we have. And if the mold you're using is not particularly hot, then it takes a little while to heat up. So yeah, if he'd have stayed in there another 3 minutes or so, it would have been difficult to take out. No worries, Catherine Thomas. We're happy to have you here late as well as early. And remember, you can see this on YouTube later on, the entire broadcast. So those of you that may have tuned in the last few minutes, we would like to congratulate Denise Jenkins. She won the diamond ornament from last week. And if you comment, you'll be entered in the drawing for next week's gift. And for next week, we're giving away a sea ball, an ornament. Okay, so Josh now has moved his way up to like the 3rd level of the tree. You can see the cuts going in there, separating the areas of the branches. Foster's shielding his thumb and hand. The only thing sticking out beyond the blades of the paddle is the tip of the shears. Yeah, Rude, this one's a lot of work. This one takes a while.
Hi, Rude. How you doing, my friend? Happy holidays to you, Rude, and to Michael if you're there yet.
Okay, so he's got about, another couple rows of cutting to do. We'll show you what that looks like here from the side. So Foster surrounds his hand, and Josh keeps turning. Now see how this piece is flexing? It's moving a lot. That's because of all the heat in it. He's got to have that heat in order to be able to cut. If that glass were a couple hundred degrees cooler, it wouldn't cut at all. So he's working his way around now at each level, making the cuts. You'll also notice the piece is moving less, which means it's getting cooler, which more than likely means he'll be getting up to go reheat. So that flexibility in the glass is a two-edged sword. You've got to have it to be able to cut the glass and get the shape you want, but you've got to fight it when you first come back to the bench. Not fight it so much as control it. So that's why you see him turning the iron, maybe pausing for a moment. He'll let the glass fall and then flip it up. And you can see how the tree is kind of curving to the left. And that's because of the way he's turning the pipe and cutting. When we get the glass really, really hot, if we go in the glory hole and turn, you can actually see the end of the glass hook away from you. All right, so the motion's just about stopped. There's a little bit of curvature in it, but part of the art of this is knowing how much you can leave and fix later. About how heavy is that tree right now?
Right there, probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7 pounds?
8,
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot.
Yeah. Not only is there 6 or 7 pounds of glass out there, he's got it pushed out on the end of a pipe. I got it.
No, I missed one.
Okay.
Okay.
When it's out on the end of the pipe and 4 feet away from him, it really kind of increases the effective weight of the glass. Imagine if you had a snow shovel and you're holding it in your hand and it has no snow in it. And now you shovel the sidewalk and you've got about 2 cubic feet of snow on the end of that.
And the wet, heavy snow.
Yeah. Okay, so this is wet, heavy glass. So by turning it now back and forth, pointing it down elongates it. Gravity's always present. And right now he's cutting a little tip on the end. He just wants a place to be able to grab this. He's watching the line of glass. And when he pauses the rotation and lets it fall back in line with the pipe, then that's when he gets it centered up. The reason for cutting the tip on the end of that is so that he'll be able to grab that in a few moments with his diamond shears and actually pull on it. So now he's just kind of wiggling back and forth because this thing is really getting hot. It wants to move. It's moving all over. A little swing elongates it, accentuates his taper. And then in just a couple of moments, when he gets that set up like he wants, he'll be pulling it up some. Yeah, it is true, Iceland. It is interesting that you can cut glass. When it's cold, it will cut.
And then the powder?
No, we'll do the scar, the last thing.
Okay.
So you can see the line of the tree is kind of hooked like a boomerang. but by turning it around and then lifting it to vertical, he can straighten it out and work on it. And then in a couple moments, he'll even work on straightening it more on the marver. But look how that top is straightening out and tapering to a nice point. Beautiful tree shape.
And all the trees in the book are really narrow, just really tall trees, and they're actually all curved.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just working the height. We need about 5 more inches or so.
All right. There's the tall, skinny tree he's talking about.
There, Foster, let's dust it.
Okay.
All right. How tall are you going to make it? That's about it, isn't it?
I think a tiny bit taller.
Oh,
About an
okay.
inch or so, just swinging.
You're gonna start at the bottom for dusting.
Yeah.
All right. Now for some snow. Foster has the very fine white frit, and he's sprinkling it on to the tree. And again, we're not particularly concerned about the shape of the tree if it moves a little bit. He wants to get pretty good coverage of the white on there. Some of it will shake off. If he wants to do it again, they can put the...
Get a good bit on the top, because usually they have a bunch on the top.
That bowl is really hot from its proximity to the tree. Foster's emptying it back into the small bowl. And we're going to get a lot more snow on top of the tree. Okay. So you see that being just close to the hot glass can heat something else. That large bowl, Josh isn't really touching that bowl at all. Just its proximity to the hot tree is making the bowl hot enough that Foster was really hopping around trying to grab it. In fact, now he's going to put on a glove before grabbing it. All of his snow is in the large bowl. He wants it back in the small bowl. Yep, it's a Whoville tree. And over here you can see that Rachel has moved the Grinch over to the left-hand side of the garage. It's hotter over here. Okay, so what this does is heat the Grinch's head a little bit more before we finally get ready to take him off of there and attach him to the tree. In there it's about 1,000 degrees, but right at this point we probably could have cracked him if we put him in the glory hole.
We'll get you to torch the glue bit.
Okay.
Alright? So Foster, I'll have Rachel torch the glue bit.
Say what?
Rachel will torch the glue bit.
Okay.
So she'll bring you a glue bit and then torch it.
Okay, so now Josh is choreographing everything. Josh is taking the Grinch head over to the furnace. Foster's over here. We're turning the pipe. Josh is back in the glory hole for a reheat.
Get the glue bit?
Yeah, she'll present you the blue bit.
Then those pipes are for the glue bit.
I know.
Okay.
This is a just in case.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Good, well, so once you grab one more flash, and I will knock it off.
Okay. Josh is chilling the jack line on the Grinch's head. Just going to come back over here to our knockoff box, tap the Grinch off. Foster has the pipe. Rachel's going to bring him a glue bit. Josh is going to glove up so that he can grab the Grinch's head.
So not a ton, just a little cut.
We put the glass down. Rachel opens the shears up and snips it off. Josh is going to snip it off. Okay. We got some overrun, guys. There goes the Grinch's head. Okay. Into the glory hole. Need a door? Gonna get it into the heat. Now we got heat on it, everything's comfortable. So it's gonna take a little bit of work right now to get everything lined up. By getting it back into the heat quickly enough, we keep him from cracking. Now it's time to start trying to manipulate him around a little bit. We're going to manipulate the tree shape and also change the position of the head. And this will make it appear that he's peeking around the corner of the tree as he absconds with the Whoville tree.
Yeah, let's torch the end, and we'll stick the star on.
Okay, so we got the torch lit.
And towards the end, just the very tip.
Josh got plenty of heat to hold the Grinch in place. Rachel's heated the top. Here comes the star. A little bit of pressure pushing in. And then it's right into the glory hole to get everything warm again to keep from cracking. Notice when it comes out, there's an awful lot of heat in that. You'll see the motion in the tree. This allows Josh to manipulate the position of the treetop and the Grinch if he wants. He wants the Grinch's relation to the tree body to be just right. And by bending the tree down, he brings it closer to the Grinch. Alrighty. And that's about how much working time he gets between reheats. So you got to be really conscious of that.
Can you see inside the glory hole? Is it open enough to be able to see inside?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. So there we are. See how he's just going back and forth? That's to keep the plane straight. If he twirled it around a lot, the tree would curl around the Grinch. So his motions are small and measured. We changes the angle of the tree, and if he needs to, he'll manipulate it around the grinch. Here we go. Alrighty. The Grinch didn't add a whole lot of weight. If he had 6 to 7 pounds before, he's got maybe 8.
It's just so long.
Yeah. The problem now is not as much the weight, but the length of it, and also the need to keep all of it warm, but not hot enough for the bottom to deflect. The narrow sections of the glass cool off the fastest. They're usually the most critical to worry about breaking.
So right now I'm kind of thinking about when it sits, is the weight going to be directly over?
Okay, so what he's telling you is, if you look at the center line of the piece, looking down the pipe with that curve there, he wants the weight distributed such that the tree doesn't fall over when it's standing up. He's going to try to distribute the weight to both sides of the central axis. He'll have the curvature of the tree leaning one way, he'll have the weight of the Grinch on one side pulling it, and he's going to try to balance those out. The Grinch itself is not nearly as heavy as the tree. And he's also got to maintain a straight line. This is like the ultimate multitasking. But it's a good view straight down the bench there. He's increasing the size of the flame on the torch so it'll get a lot hotter down there. On a foot? No. So that portion down there was probably the coldest section of the tree as Josh manipulated it. That's why he's increased the intensity of that flame while he heats that bottom joint. You can see it glowing red now. So that's a lot hotter. He still has to concern himself with getting back into the heat so that all of it stays warm. And you can see how he just rotates it left and right, keeping all the lines straight, an equal distribution of glass around the central axis. And when it starts to move some, he'll bring it back out. And now he's going to keep an eye on the top of that as it moves while he gently rotates the pipe. And that's going to let him keep everything in a nice straight line and not flow off center. He's just going back and forth with it. He's going to take the hot torch to it. Once again, this is going to facilitate breaking the piece off. Does the weather affect your timing, winter versus summer? No, not really, because what we're dealing with is temperatures in here of excess than 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So the only effect on us is usually the summer weather and the sweat that rolls into our eyes. But as far as working this piece, doing one in July is really not any different than doing one in December.
Now, remember, in the summertime, we now have the evaporative cooler.
We do. We've got a new cooling system in here so that it's much more pleasant to work. So it takes a while to get all this heat evened out. He doesn't want any really hot zones in it. It's got to be kind of equalized. And you can imagine it's very hard to equalize the temperature of a piece that goes from very thick to very thin. A little water into the joint. He'll tap the iron in a moment and then he'll come back. Foster will bring it to the annealer. He'll give it a little more encouragement. He's going to flash it some more. So the glass breaks at its weakest point. It will fracture there. So what we're going to do is work a little bit more on fracturing the piece, and the star came off from the tapping. So that's an occupational hazard. We'll work on getting that back in place. Rachel's going to light the torch. She'll torch the end.
Just like that, Foster. Take it off.
Foster will stick it. Then he'll let go. Then Josh will commence turning and get it back into the heat. So now it's time to play with the alignment again and then cool the glass where we want it to break. So what we had happen there was the area of the star was a little bit cooler, and when the vibration from tapping the pipe ran down the length of the tree, it allowed it to break at that point. That was the weakest point along the way. So what we'll do now is make sure that that's nicely heated and well connected, and then work on chilling that jack line again. No, Catherine Thomas, it's really not an oh no moment. It's more of a, okay, what do I do next moment, okay? And what you do next is you put it back on there.
What's your favorite saying, Bruce?
Oh, it's not what you make, it's what you can fix. See? Okay. My actual favorite is hot glass moves and cold glass don't. But that's another indication of that one because it wasn't hot. Okay, so Josh has got the heat directed where he wants. You can see how the top of it's still moving, and it may be close to moving when Foster takes the piece from him, because we need to get, that needs to stay warm a little bit.
Rachel, come grab the jack.
Rachel's going to put the jacks into the joint line to stop the vibration from going down the pipe. And off we go with a flower again, or star. That's all right. So the joint line there,
Yeah, let's just do a new flower.
so we're going to get a new flower. Star.
Work that neck down
I
to the
keep
side.
calling it a star, a flower. Okay, so no reason to sweat it, just keep on trucking. So Josh now is going to have the opportunity to really heat this jack line up down here. He might even get that hot enough that he can narrow it with his jack blades, and if he can, the narrower constriction would break free easier. So let me go over here and get his jacks in case he decides to use those. I'm reaching over. And now he's got his jacks up here should he decide to compress that line anymore. You notice he's directing all that heat right there into that point. So now when he goes back into the glory hole and reheats, what's going to happen is all of it's going to heat up, but he's already preheated the lower portion where that jack line is. So he's keeping his eye on it, looking for his alignment and everything. Foster and Rachel are over here working on getting the new star. Josh has got his jacks now. He's squeezing pretty mightily. So that joint right there needs to be cold enough and softened enough to fracture. Grab another tool here. We got Foster over here grabbing the star. Rachel's torching the tip of the tree. Josh is having to rotate the tree a little bit Foster's going to have to put the star onto the moving target. He's going to press it in. It's heated, melted in. Alrighty. Hey. Okay. So once again, it's not what you can make, it's what you can fix. Alrighty. Oh, you got it? Okay. He'll be ready in a minute. Okay. He wants to have that star on nice and secure, and then get the joint down at the bottom, that jack line, nice and cold so it breaks. Nothing like adding a little drama. You're right, Romero. Maybe we'll start calling Josh the drama queen. Or king, I should say. Alrighty. So you can see how much that's moving up top. All it takes is a little press from the tweezers and it moves right over. He's getting the water again. He's going to drizzle a ton of water right onto that joint there. Rachel's going to squeeze that joint really hard. There, it's broke free. There we go, and the tree goes in the annealer. All righty, yeah, go with it, buddy. Oh, you're coming in.
Yeah, Rich passed you.
All right, whoa. Okay, there he goes. And those gloves do get hot.
Oh, yes.
So, what the issue was, I was a little close to the pipe.
Oh my goodness, here, let's get it from the side view if I can. So, if the jack line is really close to the pipe, it's really hard to break it free.
Can't break through metal, right?
That's right. We can't, nobody in here is named Clark Kent. We don't squeeze through steel. Okay, nice job, John. Let's hear it for Josh, folks. And Rachel and Foster. Yeah, okay. A great group effort there. Okay. All righty. So, wonderful job on the Grinch. Are we going with anything else here, or that's it? Okay. So let's just give you a little recap. That was enough. That was enough for one day, huh? Okay. So, again, congratulations to Denise Jenkins, who won the diamond-shaped ornament from last week for the drawing. We're going to be giving away, I'm sorry, I'd said an ornament earlier. We're actually going to be giving away a green elf next week. So your comments will get you entered in the drawing for a green elf. Also like to encourage you to contact us today and maybe order up a gift certificate. This is what they look like. And if you get in touch with us today, we'll get it emailed back to you or possibly attached to a text message. You can print it out yourself and give it to a loved one for Christmas. So from the Art of Fire and on behalf of everybody here, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, have a safe and wonderful holiday, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.